want to state, I'm going to call this to order of somewhat, but the rules of engagement is we're going to have to take individual roll calls on any votes we make. So with that, I'm going to start off with approval of the agenda.
You need to do roll call.
I would move for approval of the agenda.
Here, I'm jumping. I knew two of you were there.
Yep. I'll make the motion. We approve the agenda as presented.
Okay, well, let's do a roll call. Who wants Paul, you want to do it?
Sure. Marie, were you going to do that?
Yeah, I can go ahead and do that. Director Borges?
He's in Sacramento.
No longer a member. Vacated.
Oh, well.
Vacated.
Okay, well. Director Crocker?
Present.
Director Maxig?
Present.
Director Mendez?
Present.
Director Pacheco?
Here.
Director Vanderpool?
I'm here in spirit and in presence.
Director Wordley?
Present.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay, so you want to make your motion for approval of the agenda?
Yeah, I'll make the motion that we approve the agenda as it has been presented.
Second.
A motion and a second. Now you got to do roll call again.
Okay, Vanderpool made the motion, Worthley seconded.
Yes. Now you have to make a roll call of the voters.
Aye. Crocker, aye.
Unless there's dissension, you got ayes.
Okay.
Because of the conference call, council advises that we need to do a roll call. So
Right.
Director Crocker?
Aye.
Fresno County Council always makes things difficult. Aye.
Wait, yeah, I've got you.
Director Magzig? Aye. Director Mendez?
Aye.
Director Pacheco? Aye. Director Vanderpool?
Aye.
Director Wordley?
Aye. So does
I'll run this just like an air board meeting. If you need any explanations, Supervisor Wordley can explain it to you.
I just did.
We will now move to public comment. We have one in Fresno, I believe, correct? Okay, come over here.
I'll be quick today. This is Harold Chalanza, and last time I was here, you guys talked about your RX program. I did some research, and you guys are looking to get rebates on your RX program. Basically, the question is, why are rebates offering to a PBMs? The answer is the end user is being overly charged for generic drugs. Real simple. The solution is to buy wholesale. Don't wait for the rebates to be offered at the end or throughout the year. An example is the Lipitor generic. Street price is $46. Blue Cross Blue Shield is a $25 copay. Costco's price is $17 a month, and our price on our drug is $1.50 a month. Back to the end user. Basically, we'd be happy to do a comparison for SJVIA. We need 1 to 3 months of drugs being used by name and dosage and current price being charged. And basically, you could look at it around a 30 to 40% savings per year on your drug program. And it's completely transparent. You see the cost. So, I mean, the only rebates you'll get are on name brand drugs, but generics, you're getting the wholesale price right from the start. So, you guys could be looking at $5 to $7, $8 million a year of savings right off the bat. So, something to take a look at.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you have any public comment there?
We do not. No. No one's here.
No public comment in the South. With that, we will move to the next item, which is audit of financial statements. I don't know if you want to sit over here in this chair.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, my name is Stan Babcock. I work for Price Page and Company, and we have recently issued the financial statements for San Joaquin Valley Insurance Authority for the year ended June 30, 2016. I am happy to announce that we issued an unmodified opinion on the financial statements. In auditing terms, that is the best outcome you can have as a result of an audit. What that basically means is we believe that the financial statements are fairly presented at June 30, 2016. I'm going to keep this brief, but there are a few things I wanted to go over that are a little bit different than what we had in the previous year. Before I jump to that, I also wanted to say I'm happy to announce that we had no disagreements with management during this process. That's a required communication between the auditor and the auditee. And so management at SJVIA and the staff that helped us complete the audit, there were no disagreements and they were very helpful. One thing that was different this year, we decided to send audit confirmations. What that means is we chose some revenue accounts that we wanted to test the account transactions and some expense transactions that we wanted to test. We sent 4 audit confirmations out, one to the County of Tulare for the revenue, one to the County of Fresno for the revenue, one to U.S. Script or Evolve, and one to Anthem Blue Cross. We were able to confirm 3 of those 4 audit confirmations. That 4th one was Anthem Blue Cross. For some reason, whether whoever we were dealing with over there, the multiple divisions that they have, we were unable to confirm transactions with them. So in auditing procedures, what that means is we have to rely on alternate procedures. And what that means is it takes a little bit more time. We have to test transactions more organically than just going to the source. So we were able to test all transactions with Anthem Blue Cross. And as I said, the audit confirmations for the other 3 recipients were received with no discrepancies. So that, as an auditor, that's always a good thing to get. One other thing is with SJVIA, the incurred but not reported liability, which is the claims and claims adjustments liability, is the most significant estimate on the statement of financial position. So if you guys look at that statement of financial position, on page 4, the unpaid claims and claims adjustment expense is approximately $9.3 million. For the year ended June 30, 2016, we received a report that was prepared by an actuary for that amount. We haven't in the past because we've been so far removed from the year end that we've been able to do the calculation ourselves. For June 30, 2016, we received that report from an actuary. It's always recommended to go through an actuary for this level of estimate, but I just wanted to address that since it is a pretty significant estimate on the statement of financial position. I was told to keep it brief, and I do trust that you have all had time to review these financial statements, so I'll open it up to the board if you have any questions for me.
We have one question here.
So a couple quick questions for me. Operating loss was a little over $11 million for period ending June 30th, 2016.
That's correct.
Question I have for staff, why is it that we are now just getting to dealing with period ending June 30th, 2016? Why wasn't this done in 2017? Not all at once.
I know we don't have all staff from the auditor's office here. I know that they were catching up on audits, but I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
I wasn't the one who prepared the financial statements, but from my understanding, the process was mainly done outside of our PeopleSoft system in the county, and so that took a while to gather and compile the statements.
So unlike what's done for the county, where it's PeopleSoft report that's generated, this is a much more manual process.
Much more manual process.
Have we changed that process now?
We have started from that.
So we should see the period ending 2017 financials come back to us within the next 6 months, I would hope.
That is the goal.
And then also, some of the loans that were being made, can you direct me to the page in the report where the loans that were being made, where there's a notation just stating that those loans are going to be made?
Yes, I believe if you go to the very end, on the note 8, subsequent events,
Page 13.
we have a requirement to report significant transactions that have happened subsequent to June 30, 2016, all the way to the issuance date. We don't have a repayment. Actually, we do. So it looks like.
Correct, note 8 is on page 7.
Page 13,
Yes.
number 10.
So it looks like as of January 1st, 2018, the authority obtained operating loans totaling $5 million to the county, from the county of Fresno, and $4 million from the county of Tulare, with an expectation to be paid by December 30, 2021, if sufficient funds are available. And that the county of Tulare is expected to be paid by December 30, 2021 as well. Since the agreement was amended subsequent to June 30, 2020.
They're on 16.
So a question, some of these notations, which are kind of forward-looking, since this is a 2016 document, is it appropriate to have these 2018 notations and events that happen after period ending June 30, 2016? Is that appropriate?
For the financial statement?
Yeah, for the financial statement.
Yes.
Simply because I guess when we do these retrospectively, we take into consideration what's happened all the way up to when you finish the report.
Exactly. The date of the report is December 17, 2018. So the users of the financial statements need to see significant transactions that have occurred since. We're not talking operating, but I would say a loan would be a significant transaction, especially with those amounts.
Thank you.
Any questions in Tulare?
No.
Because they're fine. Okay, so I guess we do have to do roll call to receive and file.
Yeah, so go ahead and do the roll call. I guess somebody will have to make a motion of acceptance.
I'll move to receive the report.
I'll second the motion.
Vanderpool.
Vanderpool seconded.
All right, Director Crocker,
Aye.
Director Magstick,
Aye.
Director Mendez,
Aye.
Director Pacheco. Aye. Director Vanderpool,
Aye.
Director Wordley,
Yes.
So we will now move to, we have the consultant's report.
Yes, hello, this is Borden Darm with Keenan. And the consultant's report is specific to the reinsurance. With the 2019 renewal, the SJVIA estimated the cost for reinsurance, and we put a reinsurance amount increase of 15%. That's built into the existing rates for 2019. From that, we received now the 2019 renewal from the marketplace and from the carriers. The recommendation is that we renew with our incumbent carrier Voya. Initially, their renewal came in at 13.4%. We provided an additional month of information to them, which was October of 2018. They were able to reduce their rates to 9%, meaning that the actual renewal will be approximately 6% lower than what was budgeted in the rate, meaning also that our margin within the rate is going to go up approximately $100,000.
so that is the recommendation. We did go to the marketplace. Nobody really provided rates below that. We had one carrier that matched the existing. We felt it unwise to make a recommendation to move to that carrier who was also at a 9% increase. The reason for that is that the SJVI currently enjoys a dividend-eligible contract with Avoya. The SJVI so far this year has had about a 24% loss ratio, which is well below the targeted loss ratio by the carrier of 65%, because the the actual loss ratio is only at 24%, and if that keeps through the end of the year, because they do it based off the entire calendar year, then the SJVI would be looking at receiving a dividend between 10 and 15% of the premium remitted. So currently it's estimated that the dividend that would be returned upon the year-end accounting would be, it's on the last page, about $165,000. So for that reason too, we recommend staying with incumbent so that we can receive the dividend associated with the 2018 plan year. In addition to that, when we went out to the marketplace, like I mentioned in the previous board meeting, we asked for lower amounts. The market was reluctant to do so, at which point we had a very brief discussion about risk share. It was allowed that I come back on this call and kind of explain just risk share a little bit more, with the intent to see if the board has an interest in relooking at a risk share model under the reinsurance level for 2020. The concern that I consistently have is that our reinsurance level is at $450,000, which is an appropriate level for the SJVIA in its totality. However, for each individual entity, it is probably a little on the high side. For County of Fresno, as well as County of Tulare, as well as the City of Marysville. Based on the direction that this board has given relative to everybody carries their own relative to claims up to the reinsurance level, renewals could be impacted significantly. If we have one of the entities that has a lot of large claims that approach 450 but are still under, they could have significant rate action. In the example that I gave on page 1, I believe it's of attachment 2, this year County of Tulare had 6 claimants above $200,000, and they actually would have benefited from a risk share arrangement by having rates reduced by about 0.5%. County of Fresno would have been left alone, as well as City of Marysville. But I guess for the City of Marysville, it's probably the most visible. They are very small. They only have 37 members participating in the self-funded plan. Their reinsurance level is $450,000, just like everybody else's. If they even had one claim that approached anything above $100,000, in the subsequent year, they would receive a renewal that would be very unfavorable, and therefore would most likely leave the group as well too. And this would be consistent for any growth that the SJVA might consider in the future. If there's not a risk share layer, or unless the marketplace decides that they would be willing to release lower levels of insurance, we would consistently, based off the underwriting guidelines that this board has put forth, we would be consistently in basically every time they'd have a large claim, we would be in a position where some of these entities might consider to leave, and it's just because they had an off year with some large claims. So for the risk share arrangement, what I wanted to make sure
Gordon?
that the board. Yes.
Gordon, excuse me, I'm sorry, this is Paul. So just a suggestion, since I know that we're talking about some of this at our strategic planning meeting coming up, and also hopefully at the first meeting of the new year when we're all in one place, just a suggestion would be that we get into more detail on the proposal for 2020 at that time, and at this time focus on the recommended action and the renewal, and any questions that the board members might have.
So moved for staff's recommendation.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Kevin, I'll go through
Yeah.
any
I'm
questions.
gonna, any questions before I call the question?
So, well, just for clarity, the Keenan proposal or the discussion, that's going to be discussed at a future meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
No other questions?
okay, go ahead, call the question.
Director Crocker?
Yay, aye.
Director Magsafe?
Aye.
Director Mendez?
Aye.
Director Pacheco?
Aye.
Director Vanderpool?
Aye.
Director Worsley?
Aye.
Okay, that actually concludes, all that we're done. So I'm gonna call my favorite part of the meeting, which is adjournment. So I believe we're adjourned.
Adios.
Thank you.
Have a great Christmas, guys.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Gordon.
Here we go.
We're at
Shutting these off.
My last.